Hello, my sweet and precious students. We are talking Algebra 1/2 3rd edition, Saxon Algebra 1/2 3rd edition, lesson 82 today. I'm not even on the right page, so it starts on page 257 and then jumps right into 258. So we're talking today about evaluation with signed numbers. Well, let's jump right into this. Evaluation just means plugging in. Jump right into this. 2 times 4 is going to be -8. Minus 3 minus negative times a negative is a positive. 6 times 3 is 18. So positive 18. Change your subtraction to add the opposite, add the opposite. Well, all of these are negative. So we've got 8 plus 13 is -11 plus -18. We add those two together. Actually, I don't want you doing what I just did with the equal signs. I want you working down, but I realized that I barely left myself enough room. Because it looks a lot nicer if you work down. If it doesn't start with an equal sign, you generally shouldn't have one, okay? So -11 plus -18, that is gonna give me -29, like that. All right, guys, so now we're gonna evaluate, meaning we're gonna plug in for numbers, algebraic expressions. The key here is you need to use parentheses. So wherever there is a variable, you are going to use parentheses. Like this. Now we're going to, so you see how I copied this guy right here, but wherever there was a variable, I put in a parenthesis. Now we're going to plug it in. -2, and y is -4. Good. So now we can simplify this. Negative times a negative is going to be a positive, so that's just +2 minus, I'll bring that minus down, negative times a negative is a positive, so that's going to be 8. Add the opposite, we get which team is larger? Our negative team. And by how many? By 6. -6 would be our answer. Let's take a look at this guy. Again, we're going to start by putting in parentheses wherever those variables are. All right, so for A, we have +2. Let me make sure I wrote that down right, because I thought there was one that, it is +2. Okay, so we're going to plug in 2 wherever there's an A, right here. And then for an X, we're going to do -3. All right, so let's simplify this by doing, I'm skipping lines while I do this, just so you can see it a little better. Don't skip lines on your own problems. -2 minus -3 times 2 is -6. 6th graders subtract, 7th graders add the opposite. Which team is larger? Our positive team, and by how many? By 4. So your answer should be 4. All right, guys, with that said, here are your practice problems. Go ahead and do those, come on back, and let me, pause the video, do those, come on back. Let me know how it goes. All right, so let's plug in some parentheses here for our AB minus A. Now let's plug in these guys, -2, and B is 3. -2 times +3 is -6 minus -2. 6th graders subtract, 7th graders add the opposite. Which team is larger? Our negative team by 4. -4. All right, for these guys right here, we have parentheses minus parentheses. All right, plug in those parentheses for those, that's a subtraction sign, for those variables. X is going to be -3, and y is -2. All right, so -3 here, we'll just bring that down, minus negative times a negative is a positive, +6. Add the opposite, and we end up with -9. 6, 7, 8, 9, yep. All right, skip a line here so you can see it a little bit better. Parentheses wherever there's a variable. X is -3, so -3, y is -2. These two things right here make a positive, right? So we get +3 times, and actually it probably just makes sense to do this, +3, so this is positive, because these cancel out, times -2 would be -6 minus -3. Add the opposite. Which team is larger? Our negative team by how many? By 3. That is your answer, my dear. That is it for this lesson. If you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you when we get back.